This is Rafik Luzon, and you are tuned in to Nothing But That Sports Talk. Oh yeah, the W getting high. So welcome to this episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. Rafik Luzon, I'm alongside Mykell on hand from the Sparks Weekly. Welcome back to the show.
No, man, thank you for having me. I like the energy to start, man. So let's get it.
Yeah, why not? Let's get it, especially with the Sparks season on and going. And it's kind of like not the start you expected, but this is the first season with this new core. And while we're on the subject, what you thought about the way the Sparks conduct themselves the offseason by bringing in Kelsey Plum in the three-team trade, and how you think it's fruition so far?
No, I think that, they're thinking big. The Sparks are like, we want to try to get back, right? They got some young pieces. They got Rivalry Jackson, who's returning from last year, who was the runner-up in the Rookie of the Year. You got Cameron Brink, who should be healthy and possibly coming back before the end of this month. So they're like, hey, let's add that to, add Kelsey Plum to that. De'Erica Hamby, Azare Stevens, who's playing really solid to start the season. They're looking okay. It's just with the Sparks, they just have an injury problem. It seemed year in and year out. You have Cameron Brink who's out. Rakia's missed the last couple games due to her concussion and needing like a breakaway from the team. Ray Burrell goes down the first 35 seconds of the regular season with the knee injury. She goes out for 6 to 8 weeks. But I think that the team understands that they need to make a move forward, and winning in LA is key. If you want people to come out and support in LA, you have to win. So they're trying to get to that.
And you know what? Adding Kelsey Plum during the offseason can add some veteran leadership to this young core, Ricky Jackson, Rhea Burrell, and Cameron Brink, who, in case you forgot, only played like 15 games last season before she went down with a season injury. And now they start the season on 2-6, one of the worst in the WNBA, but they're not that far from the postseason, which leads us to one question: like, how close do you think that they are to become a playoff team with the addition of Kelsey Plum and a few other pieces to the team?
I think they're really close, man. Like if you look at most of their losses, they have been close games. Usually it comes down to one bad quarter for them. They have 3 games this season where they score less than 10 points in a quarter. And most of those games, it wasn't blowout losses. It was still close games. So Coach Lynn Roberts, who's a rookie coach, it's her first season here. She's trying to adjust to the W, but she has pieces. They just have to get healthy. Rivalry Jackson looks like she should be ready to go when it comes to Friday. Cameron Brink is close to returning. Once they get back, Ray Burrell, I want to see this entire team playing together because Kelsey Plum, she has done some good things. Azare Stevens, De'Erica Hamby, as of late, Odyssey Sims. So I think if they can just sneak away some wins here and there and just stick around, they can be a team that can go in and secure one of the final spots there in the WNBA playoffs.
Exactly, and that's a very moot point. I mean, especially since they show some competitiveness for what I've heard in the last game against the Phoenix Mercury, but couldn't necessarily get the win in that game. And obviously, they've also had some tough losses to teams like the Las Vegas Aces, the Atlanta Dream, and well,
Yep.
what so far to begin the season. So yeah, when you spoke to the players after the loss to the Phoenix Mercury, like what are some insights you gained from that?
No, is that they're like, hey, we understood coming in that it was going to be a little shaky because if you look at the W, and this is straight from Kelsey Plum's mouth, she said, if you look at the W, most of the best teams have been together for a couple years. You look at Minnesota, they were right there, play away from the championship last year. New York has been together for the past couple years. When you look at the Aces, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young have been together. Most of the teams have been together. So that's an issue with the Sparks. It's such a new team, especially when you have a new leader to come in at the top at head coach with Lynn Roberts, and then you have a new leader as a player with Kelsey Plum. So they're all trying to adjust. But the fact that they're able to fight and be in a lot of these games, some of them you like, hey, like when they traveled to Phoenix, they should have won that game. They knew they let that one go. So they're a team that doesn't have any doubt. They believe that they are close, and it just comes to picking up one win and then another win, and then slowly start to get this ship back exactly where they hope and expect to be.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy going forward for the rest of the game because the Sparks only have like two all. The Sparks only have two more home games to like literally, well, three more home games for the rest of June
This
with
month.
everything else being on the road. And two of them,
Hmm.
they're going up against the runner-up in last year's WNBA Finals in the Minnesota Lynx, which they did lose to
Hmm.
back in May. And then of course they have the Seattle Storm in the Chicago Sky a couple of times, so which means they're going to be running into Angel Reese a couple of times. So
Yeah.
we look at the schedule going forward, which starts tomorrow against the Dallas Wings, led by Paige Becker as the number one overall pick. What you got you thinking about how many wins you think that the Sparks could get?
Man, I think I'm hoping they can get to at least like 17. I think if they can get to 17, 18, it's going to give them a chance to get to that 8 spot. Friday it helps because Paige Beckers is going to be out. She's still in the concussion protocol. So it looks like she's not going to be available. Rakia Jackson, like I said, is going to be back. But for the Sparks, it's about getting healthy and meshing. And I like what they do offensively. They spread the ball. It's a lot of movement. They just have to get tougher and have to be more aggressive on the defensive end. And for those young players like Sarah Ashley Barker, who getting a lot of playing time, just have to come in and play basketball at the end of the day. But I think the team, if healthy, they can get themselves together. Cameron Brink can come back and be a defensive presence, and Ray Burrell can be that 3-and-D player that they envision. And Rakia Jackson starts figuring out. I believe that the Sparks can be a team that can win. So I'll say 17 to 19 games to sneak into that 8 spot.
Yeah, yeah, that should be challenging. As we are like literally 1 week into the season, as
Mhm.
you notice, the Sparks are literally like a game behind teams like the Washington Mystics and, dare I say it, the Golden State Valkyrie.
Yep.
So they're Golden State Valkyrie and Chicago Sky. So they're right there. They split with the Golden State Valkyrie to begin the season, which I'll get to in a minute. So
Hmm.
when you're looking at the way the Sparks are kind of constructed, they're really not, they're not that far away. They're not.
Yeah, they're not far at all, man. Like, think about it. They got good guard play. Odyssey Sims, Kelsey Plum, who, they're meshing well and figuring it out together. You got some wings with Rakia. Once Ray gets healthy, I really like Sarah Ashley Barker, the first round pick. She has shown some really good things. I like the bigs, De'Erica Hamby, Azare Stevens, Emma Cannon, what she's been able to do. Mercedes there. Once Cameron Brink get back, that's going to help add another presence for them. Like, they're a team that can easily, if shots start falling and they getting the stops that they need, can run off a 3-game, 4-game winning streak to shoot them up the standing. So for the Sparks fans out there who's listening, don't lose any hope. It's going to take a game at a time. It's a long WNBA season. They aren't too far off of some teams ahead of them. It's just going to take them meshing, and once they do, they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, they're going to be a tough team to beat. And I mentioned Golden State Valkyrie is one of the teams that they're chasing, and this being the first season of the Golden State Valkyrie franchise overall.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time since you had a dream in 2008 that we witnessed a brand new WNBA team built from the ground up, not a
Yep.
team that's coming from another state to become a new team at a new state. Looking
Mm-hmm.
at the way the Golden State Valkyrie play at Chase Center, like, what are your overall impressions of their importance to the league and what it
No,
will
I
do for
think
the WNBA going forward as one of the teams to beat for the Sparks to get into the postseason?
No, yeah, I really like the Valkyrie, man. One thing I can say about the Valkyrie, we're covering the Sparks. We've seen them play 3 times already, if you include the preseason. So they just play really hard, man. Like, they're out there and they're giving their all. They run the floor defensively. They're very like pests, and they just play really hard. And I think that is great for the W that the Valkyrie didn't just come in and just stink it up. They actually are coming in and being competitive and winning games, and it's just a good thing to see because it's showing the world that, hey, it's more than enough women that could come out and play great professional basketball. That's why I'm excited to see the Portland team next year, and I'm excited to see what the Toronto Tempo is going to bring to the league. But shout out to the Valkyrie. They have come out swinging. Their home crowds have looked really impressive, showing up to play. Maybe we might see a Steph Curry attend one of the games soon, but they're doing some really good things, and they sit above the Sparks right now, which is very surprising to me if you would have told me this a month and a half ago.
I mean, they played teams have played about like 6 to 8 games so far to begin the season. Already we're talking about Golden State Valkyrie being one of the top, being one of the teams that the Sparks are chasing for a postseason spot. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's just, the fact that they're putting it together. They're just 2-4. The Sparks has played 2 more games than them, so we can see. But they're going to see them Monday back in LA, the Valkyrie Sparks. So I know the Sparks are like, hey, we let one get away. We need to take care of them. So I think the Sparks are going to be ready for that. But I'm happy for the Bay Area fans, the fact that they got a team in the WNBA and their team plays hard and their team is going to be a good watch the rest of the season.
And this is kind of one of the first times that you get to see another new team in the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. You got Los Angeles, and now you got the Bay Area in San Francisco.
Yeah,
so
I love
this
it.
should be interesting. Yeah, it may not live up to the Los Angeles Lakers, who's Golden State Warriors type of rivalry that when you have with LeBron James went to LA, but it'll be a start of something fresh.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I think that helps the W. I help all the sports. Rivalries are big. It drives sports. We see Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the way that them two go at it. We're gonna be watching all of the Minnesota and Liberty games this year, Minnesota and Aces games. So I'm hoping that Bay to LA rivalry becomes a real thing that people can watch and follow for the rest of these teams' existence.
And you know what? To piggyback up the conversation where you talk about rivalries, right? To you, what is the most intriguing rivalry you see in the WNBA so far in recent years? Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever after Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, the Liberty and the Aces, or the Liberty and the Lynx?
I think the Liberty and the Aces, because you have Asia Wilson there, you have Brianna Stewart on the other end, 2 of the better players in the W. East Coast versus West Coast. Like it's like a movie, when it comes to that setup. So that's the rivalry that I really like. But the Lynx are upcoming because the Lynx were in the finals last year, and they're like, hey, we were a play away from winning this thing. We want to make sure y'all know that we're here. So that's another one to look out for. And they're both undefeated. So that's going to be really good. But that Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is a good one, Chicago and Indiana, because like Bird and Magic, it's 2 players who started their rivalry in college and has carried over to the W and to the pros. And I know there's been a lot of negative talk about it from fans when they're talking about Angel Reese or maybe some talking about Caitlin Clark. But I think that is all good for basketball rivalry. And that's one of the issues I feel with the NBA is that it's too much buddy buddy to where WNBA it's not much buddy buddy. It's like I want to come out here and be a better player, make my brand bigger than yours, and it's fun for the league. So those 3 rivalries are great, but I like that Liberty Lynx right now because it's just 2 of the best teams in the league, and they were last year's championship matchup.
And both teams are undefeated to start the season. And you know what? Since we talk about the Liberty and the Lynx, which team you think will have the first L of the season at the start 7-0 with the Lynx and 8-0 with the Liberty, or vice versa?
Man, that's gonna be tough. Let me look at their schedule. It's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna say that
Liberty
Liberty,
7-0 and Lynx 8-0.
yeah, I'm gonna say the Liberty get their first loss first because I see that the Lynx they got Dallas. They should take care of that. At Seattle's gonna be tough, but I think they win. They might get my Sparks, but then that Vegas matchup is gonna be a good one. But I'm gonna go with the Lynx, man. They're playing some really inspired basketball. I think that they're gonna hold on tight. That the Liberty is a team that's gonna pick up its first L.
Yeah, and they're currently playing the Washington Mystics tonight, another up and coming team. So that's not far away from being true. I mean, they're currently trailing by 3 points right now at the time of this recording. And if you want my thoughts on Liberty versus Liberty and whether or not they keep the streak going, we're gonna have to wait till the very next episode. But that's more to the point. Yeah. This is something that we need to be mindful of because anything can happen in the WNBA. Don't let the records fool you. It's unpredictable. It's just as unpredictable as the NBA has been this season.
Yeah, it's very unpredictable. Any night, anything can happen, and parity is something that's good in sports. And to see it, like you could see a Sparks knock off a Atlanta Dream or New York, and it won't surprise you. Like last year, the Sparks only won what 6 to 8 games, but two of those wins were against the Las Vegas Aces.
That's a
So
fact.
yeah, it just makes it makes the W really fun because any given night somebody can catch you slipping, and it's a great thing to see.
That's a fact. I mean,
Mhm.
like you said, the Sparks are rebuilding mode. A lot of people need to understand that. They're way far away from what they were when they had Candace Parker and the Gumi
Yeah,
sisters.
NECA,
So
yep.
they're just trying to like build off from all those major pieces that they've lost in recent years. And that's what people need
Hmm.
to realize. And if they're ever going to be relevant, they have to start picking up wins. It starts with the teams I just mentioned the upcoming schedule.
Yeah, they have to. Like they have to try to, just so they can get something rolling, man. Like the Sparks have to. You don't want to get yourself in too deep of a hole, right? Like the Dallas Wing are 1-7 right now with Paige dealing with her concussion protocol and all of that. Like they can get themselves in so big of a hole that it may not be any way to get out. To where for the Sparks, you got some veterans on that team that you don't want to get nowhere near that because what's next for you? Juju Watkins isn't coming in this draft. So you want to try to win and be productive and take advantage of having Kelsey Plum because remember, she's only here for 1 year. It's a 1 year deal. The new CBA, a lot of players are going to be moving and changing places. So you want to try to win so that Kelsey Plum will say, hey, we got something going here. I need to make sure I'm back next year.
Yeah, you have to. And it's funny enough, all WA players get is 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
That's something that they need to take into consideration with the new CBA deal. They should be getting long-term deals for the teams that they want to play for like the like in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree.
They really
Yeah.
should.
Yeah, it should be 3 to 4 year deals. Like I think that's what hurts the W sometimes. There's so many players that change places that sometimes you be forgetting, like, oh, I forgot this player is over here. But when you could get that same batch of players in the same location, it allows fans to grow an attachment to that player or to those players, and that helps your fan base because they know who they're rooting for. Now they have a certain type of connection and interest, and it helps grow the game.
Yeah, it helps. It literally helps grow the game indeed. And I know we kind of went over this in early conversations when we talk about growing the game and the top tier teams. What is like your top three teams in the WNBA right now that could give the New York Liberty a run for the money and prevent them from repeating as champions in 2025?
Man, the three teams that I like to compete with them, of course, the Minnesota Lynx, Nafisha Collier is looking like the MVP so far to start the year. She is playing lights out, and that's a stacked team. I like what Atlanta is doing. Jordan Canada is back. Um, she is there with Ryan Howard, with Alyssa. I can't remember the last
Listen,
name.
Tommy, I think it's
No, not Alyssa.
no, now it's not. She plays for Phoenix. My bad, but
Yeah, she plays for Phoenix. But they just said they have Brittany Griner if she can be healthy and play. Alicia Gray, that's who it is.
yeah, at least
Alicia
you my bad.
Gray, who is their leading scorer with 21 points a game. Like they're a really good team. And then we mentioned Alyssa Thomas. Like I think what they're doing there in Phoenix with Satu Sabali there, trying to prove to everyone that hey, when I'm healthy, I'm a top 10, top five type of player, and she's been playing lights out, and that team has been winning. So those are the three teams for me: Minnesota, Atlanta, Phoenix. Of course, Vegas is going to be around because of Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Jewel Lloyd. I'm just not too sure about their bench play, but it's gonna be heavy at the top. It's not gonna be any easy matchups, especially when we get closer to the playoff times. But I like Minnesota, Atlanta, and Phoenix to be there fighting with the New York Liberty to try to win the title.
That's true. And when you're thinking about those teams you just mentioned, do you think that the New York Liberty will repeat as WNBA champions?
Right now, they should be the favorites, undefeated. You got Sabrina, you got Jonquil Jones, you got Brianna Stewart. Like They have starters, they got depth, they got good coaching. They should be the favorites. And until somebody beat them, I'm going to lean towards the Liberty. But I just know that Minnesota is like, hey, we should have won. If it wasn't for a possible bogus call, we're the champs. So they're playing with a different type of anger. But I just like the Liberty. I'm a big fan of Sabrina, Jonquel Jones, and Breonna Stewart. That trio is going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm a little intimidated that everybody want to blame that Elena Smith call for the reason why we won that game, and I get it. I blame Sammy Wickham's dumb foul for our loss to face Mercury in single elimination in 2021. I understand
Yeah.
it. But the fact of the matter is, it's up to you. You don't come back from 17 down to win game one and not take care of your business with those 2 home games in Minnesota before possibly coming back to Brooklyn. But
Yeah, I agree.
if you took care of your business, if you guard the way you guarded Sabrina Ionescu in game 4, if you guarded Sabrina Ionescu in game 3 that way, you probably would have won a championship. And
Mm-hmm.
now the WNBA Finals is the best of 7 this year. And if you
Yeah.
even if a series were to go game 5 minimum, you're going to need a game 6 or 7 to defeat New York. So Minnesota, hear this clearly. You're going to need to step up if you're going to beat the New York Liberty because they're not messing around. They 152 against the Connecticut Sun. Are you kidding me? 2
Yeah.
different games. They had 19 3-pointers. This Liberty team is not playing around when it comes to title defenses.
No, yeah, they look great, man. They're playing with a confidence, and what really helped them was making it to the finals, losing to the Aces, really humbled them and let them know we got to get to this level to win. They got to that level, and now they feel that, and they want to be the next dynasty in the WNBA. So they're going to be tough, man. And like I said, that trio is top notch, probably the best trio in the league. I'm not even a probably. They're the best trio in the league with Sabrina, Jonquel, and Breonna Stewart. And whoever's going to beat them, they're going to have to bring their A plus game.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, there have been a couple teams that brought their A game, but look what happened. We took them out. I mean, the Fever and the Golden State Valkyrie, dare I say, brought their A game a bit, even with Jonquel Joe sitting out that game. But look what happened. The Liberty figured it out, and this is what happens when you make up for losing benign Laney Hamilton
Yep.
due to season injury, and Courtney Vance, who going back to Chicago. They made up for it by getting Natasha Cloud and
Ooh,
Isabella Harrison.
yeah. Natasha is hooping, man.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her. I liked her a lot with Phoenix, with the when she was with the Mercury, then with the Washington Mystics. I really liked her even then, and to see her now, she's a scorer, she's a playmaker. She gives them something that they didn't even have last year to unleash them even more. So that's why I like the Liberty to go back to back until somebody proves that they can beat them.
Yeah, I would like for them to go back to back too. And I know you're an LA guy covered the Sparks, but at least but this is something that we as WNBA journalists and sports journalists in general have to acknowledge right now.
Yeah. We just have to be honest to ourselves. Like, um, I'm not gonna sit here, I'm not a biased media member. I'm not one of those guys.
I'm
I'm gonna
not
speak
biased
the
either. I mean,
facts.
I could be biased to Liberty, but I can be realistic when I know what I'm seeing from them.
Yeah, and I just speak facts. Like I wish my Sparks was to that level, but it's gonna take them some time, maybe a year or two. I just want to see them be competitive and get back into the playoffs for the first time since 2020. But I just like what the Liberty do. Breonna Stewart has always been a bucket and a great player. And now you give that trio Natasha Cloud, who is playing top notch, averaging 10 points and nearly 7 assists. Like I like the Liberty a lot.
Yeah, I really do. Okay, to wrap up the show, you obviously have the NBA Finals going on. What is your prediction for the NBA Finals between the Thunder and the Indiana Pacers who took out the damn Knicks and the Thunder who of course defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Yeah, I know you probably hope that Oklahoma City wins because you're mad that those Pacers took your Knicks out, but I like Oklahoma City, man. I just think that it's their time. They have length. They're very good defensively. They have the best player in the world right now on their team in SGA. They got Jalen Williams, who's playing good basketball at this moment. Chet Holmgren, their big three is playing well, and then they have a plethora of talent around those guys. So I'm going to go Oklahoma City in 6 games. SGA wins the MVP, adding to season MVP. Western Conference Finals MVP, scoring title, and a Finals MVP to go with this championship is going to be a coronation for SGA in Oklahoma City this postseason.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm gonna root for OKC to win, but it's gonna take them six. It's gonna take them 6 games as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't mad at you for making that prediction. But what I will say this though, if they let Indiana get a road win in this series, that prediction might change a bit after
Mm-hmm.
well, defeat Milwaukee was inevitable. They would deal with the injuries, but you defeat the
Mm-hmm.
Cavaliers and the Knicks again to get to the NBA Finals, and now you're a conference champion. If you understand the
Yeah.
Knicks and Pacers rivalry, you get how we Knicks fans feel about it.
No, yeah. And just for us Laker fans, when we see the Pacers play, we kind of feel a certain way because we look at Tyrese Halliburton and we're like, that's what we wanted Lonzo Ball to turn into for the Lakers. We were hoping that he will become that impactful type of point guard, 6'6", 6'7", that can score and play make, but it didn't happen. But to see Tyrese Halliburton doing it, and I like the fact that he's like a traditional point guard. He can kill you with 12 points because he will have 15 assists, 16 assists, control the tempo. So I like watching the Pacers. Pascal Siakam is a one-time champion, so he knows what it takes and what it feels like. But I just think that it's OKC's time. It's their destiny. After being the top team last year and losing in the playoffs, they were the top team this year. Now they're in the finals. It's their time to win so that they can add that first ever title for the Thunder. So that SGA can be like, hey, I am the greatest Oklahoma City Thunder player of all time. MVP and the championship. Russ and Kevin Durant didn't do that, so I am your guy.
You know what? And let's not forget he started his career playing for the Clippers. And I know for somebody that
Yeah,
covers the Clippers, you're gonna regret letting him treat him in a role player role, only to trade him to OKC, and he's a top point
yeah,
guard there, elevate his game.
yeah.
Don't forget he played for the Clippers, and
No, yeah.
I don't know if you want to move for NCAA to win a title with another team that isn't the Los Angeles Clippers. Since you cover the Clippers, so you should know.
No, yeah. I'm more of a Laker guy. So for me, it's kind of like, hey, but I cover the Clippers. I got love for them. The players are great. They just thought that, hey, Kawhi Leonard at his peak, Paul George at his peak. If we mesh them together, we should win a championship. And they were close in the bubble, but the guys kind of didn't want to be there, and it didn't happen. But you can't feel nothing but happiness for SGA because
Yeah, you
there were
can't.
it was some Clipper fans who didn't believe that he was going to turn out to be anything, and then there was some like, man, he's a future All-Star. He surpassed that. He's an MVP, the best player in the league right now. And to see him win would be great because, after that big trade, he was able to prove a lot of people wrong. So let's see what he can do.
And you know what? And you're talking about two different franchises that Paul George once played for. Now he's home. He has to watch one of his former teams win.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, this is the PG finals. Two teams, like you said, that he played for. And either way it goes, I know that he probably a little more attached to Indiana because they drafted him. He was there longer. But anyway it goes, he needs to focus on getting himself right and returning to be a great player. And just sit back and enjoy these guys. Try to bring a championship to one of these great franchises.
Yeah, trying to bring a championship. That's all he could do. And
Yeah.
obviously, you've been into a dome. Like how is the atmosphere like compared to Staples Center?
Now, with the Intuit Dome, I'm gonna say this right now. It is the best place to watch basketball in the NBA. Like there's nowhere nothing better. The how it looks, like the technology. Shout out to Steve Ballmer, his team. They did an amazing job, and it's built for basketball. Like a lot of people don't remember or they don't know that the Crypto.com arena, which was a
Yeah,
Staples Center,
Crypto.com, my bad.
no, it's okay. That was built for hockey. Like the LA Kings were there first, and they said, "Hey, Lakers, come on over." So it was built for hockey. The Intuit Dome is built for basketball. Like you feel like the fans are right on the players. It's really loud. The wall is a beautiful thing. It is a great place to watch basketball for you out of towners. If you can get to LA, of course you got to get to crypto.com arena because of the history, seeing the retired jerseys, the championship banners, the Kobe statues, and all the great statues. But make sure you get to Inglewood and visit the Intuit Dome because it's no other place like it in the NBA, and the energy is up. Like those playoff games, energy was up there with Oklahoma City, with watching the Pacers in New York play at home as well.
Exactly. And judging by what I see from my TV screen, the arena looks so big. I can only
Yeah,
imagine
it's beautiful.
how crazy it will be when I go there one day.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. You got to come out here, man. You got to come check it out. It's a beautiful arena. The tickets aren't too pricey for fans. And for media, when it comes to the NBA, they got some of the best media food. They take care of us. So I'm a big fan of the Intuit Dome.
I'm not even surprised. Well, thank you for stopping by, Mykell from Sparks Weekly. I'm Rafika Lewis. We'll see you next time.